Good morning. I am very excited to try the shoe that I'm wearing today, the Adidas Adizero Prime X Strung. This is a shoe that I've seen get some really good reviews from other people. I've been a really big fan of Adidas shoes lately. I love the Takumi Sen 8 and the Adios Pro 3, which both use LightStrike Pro foam. This has the most LightStrike Pro foam of any shoe. It has 50 millimeters in the heel, so it's 10 millimeters higher than the legal stack. There seems to be some confusion about what's a legal running shoe though. This is for people who are elites who are trying to win prize money and set world records. So for normal people, it doesn't matter. But wear as big a shoe as you want. If it feels good and helps you out, doesn't matter with the stack height. So I'm gonna give these a try today and see how it goes. The Prime X Strung comes in at 49.5 millimeters of stack in the heel and 41 in the forefoot for an 8.5 millimeter drop. In my size, in men's 12, it comes in at 10.81 ounces or 306.5 grams. The shoe has carbon energy rods, 3 layers of LightStrike Pro, and a grippy, durable Continental rubber outsole. This shoe has excellent durability and grip. It also has a rocker design for smooth transitions and a comfortable, lightweight, strung upper. This may be the most engineered shoe ever. There's a carbon plate in the heel, 5 carbon infused energy rods in the midfoot to the forefoot, and 3 carbon fiber energy blades in the forefoot below the rods. That's a lot of stuff in a shoe. It has an amazing bouncy sensation to it from that LightStrike Pro foam, and I find it to be best for going marathon pace. So I just finished a 2-mile warm-up. It's colder today than yesterday. Got the full winter gear on today. Yesterday I took out the Prime X Strung. Was attempting to just do an easy run to see how they feel at easy pace. Similar to the Saucony Endorphin Speed. That little bit of extra bounce that they give you though made it hard to kind of stay at that easy pace, so I was a little bit closer to a tempo run yesterday. Still easy run, not a lot of effort expended, but these shoes definitely do make you go a little bit faster with that bounce. I've seen some reviews of these where people are saying this is the best running shoe ever made. I'm gonna pump the brakes on that a little bit. This does feel like a larger, bouncier version of the Adios Pro 3, which I really enjoy. However, it's definitely a heavier shoe. It's still very light for the amount of stack that it has. I'm really impressed. It's actually under 10 ounces in my size, which is amazing. You know, I have some daily trainers that are over 12 ounces. So this being the biggest shoe I have with the highest stack, for it to be under 10 ounces in my size is really impressive. It has a very smooth transitions. You roll through stride, very nice. But the one issue that I'm having is it just doesn't feel as explosive as a race shoe. So to me, I'm seeing this potentially being an excellent long run shoe where you can do long runs and marathon training at a decent pace, save your legs, feel good the next day. It lets you turn up the pace a little bit, but to me, it's not fast enough to be a full-on race shoe. Granted, I haven't done any really fast paces yet. That's what I'm about to do. I'm doing a fartlek run today, so I just did a 2-mile warm-up, and now I'm going to do some intervals and try and turn up the pace in these and see how they do with higher speed. So we'll see how that goes. All right, Prime X Strung, way to make me eat my words there a little bit. When you put some pace into these, they really come alive, and it feels like a very different shoe. I just did 10 intervals of 1 minute fast with 1 minute recovery in between, and I definitely got up to some 6-minute paces in there during those 1 minute intervals. Have to see when I get home, you know, the official numbers. But this shoe is similar to the Vaporfly in that it is a little thin in the heel, and being up so high, it is a bit wobbly. But once you start going faster paces, it really dials in and the instability goes away. So this shoe really has such a thick forefoot. You know, there's more foam under my forefoot in this shoe than any shoe I've ever run in, and that just really feels fantastic when you're a midfoot, forefoot striker. You're coming down on that amazing cushion. But what I really like about this LightStrike Pro is it is not mushy. You know, I've said before, I find New Balance Fuel Cell to be too soft. You sink in too much. This is like just right. It gives you that little bit of squish, and then the roll and bounce. This is kind of like a supersized Adios Pro 3. I still think the Adios Pro 3 would be better for races because it's a little bit more nimble. It's funny to call that shoe more minimal than something, but this is like the largest shoe ever made. So this one, I still don't think I could get it up to my absolute peak pace just because it's a little bit too big. But like half marathon pace, marathon pace, it's actually excellent. So this is just my first impression review, so I'll give some more stats when I get back home. But I really need to get some more miles in the shoe, try it out at some different paces. But running faster in it made a huge difference in how it feels. One thing you will notice as I'm walking here, look at my right foot. Just standing still, the shoe is squishy and it's you know, really wants to move. You can see there, you know, overpronation could be a problem in this shoe with that really high stack. But like I said, I found once I start landing on that forefoot, compressing that and rolling, the stability of the heel goes away because I'm not even using the heel. It's kind of broken into those two parts. I'm just avoiding that second part completely, landing here and moving forward. You can see the heel really does squish in a lot. Just so much foam. So the Adidas Prime X Strung. I didn't think I'd actually ever have this shoe. When I saw the price of it being over $300, I was like, they gotta be kidding me. They just keep getting more expensive. Over $300 for a running shoe, no way. But recently I've been loving these Adidas shoes. I've been really enjoying the Adios Pro 3, the Takumi Sen 8, and this just has more LightStrike Pro, still has those energy rods in there. I've seen some reviews of it that said this was the best shoe that someone's ever used. So I was like, I'm very curious about it, but I'm not going to spend that money on this shoe. However, I was kind of stalking Adidas's website prior to Black Friday, and this shoe went on sale for 50% off. So it was actually $150. So that's less than I would pay for a daily trainer. So I was like, for that, I gotta jump on this. So I was able to get it for that price. The next day, it went up to $180. The next day, they were all sold out. And now it's back to $300. So if you were going to try and get a promo, it was there for a short window, but now it's gone. But really what I'd like to say about this shoe is the verdict is still out for me. You know, this has such a thick stack here. You know, it's the highest stack that I've ever had in any shoe. It's higher than the legal limit of 40 millimeters. But again, that doesn't really mean anything unless you're trying to set world records or win prize money, which most people are not. So that doesn't really matter. But what it does do for you is give you so much landing area. That's what I find makes the biggest difference with this shoe, is as long as I'm running fast and landing towards the front of the shoe, it's got a nice wide base in the middle here, really grippy Continental rubber, a nice rocker, and it wants to land, squish a little bit, and give you a really nice roll and toe off. The shoe feels great when you're running fast. What I found to be a problem was the first run when I ran in it that I didn't like it as much. I was running slower paces and I was using the heel more. This shoe does have a bit of a narrow heel. If we compare this to the Adios Pro 3, you can see the Pro 3 has a wider heel. It also has some extra support in the heel there with that plastic piece. So this shoe definitely feels a lot more stable than the Prime X does. However, when I got up to those faster paces, this really did kind of fly and felt great. This actually feels to me like what the Alpha Fly I think is supposed to feel like, with that engagement in the toe. When I was landing on that, it gives it back to me much quicker. I feel with the Alpha Fly, with those AirPods, I compress them too much and it kind of slows me down, whereas this kind of bounces right back and gives you a nice explosive toe off. So I found the ride in these to be really good as long as I was running on my toes and running fast. So I would say if you're going to take this out for easy days, it could be a problem. If you overpronate a lot, or if you are predominantly a heel striker, I could see the stability in the heel causing a bit of a problem. But this thing has so much foam, so much pop, so much technology in it. I could really see this lasting a really long time and being a comfortable long run shoe. In the past, I've kind of used the RC Elite for that, where this shoe is a very comfortable shoe I can take out for long runs, but it's not very stiff, so it never was a race shoe to me. This is like a much better version of that. The ride of the shoe I would also liken somewhat to the Invincible run. You know, this big boy from Nike that has that massive amount of Zoom X, but it's a very bouncy shoe. However, this one doesn't have any plates, it doesn't have any rods, so it's definitely more unstable. This one, as I said, as long as you're landing on that midfoot, that forefoot, it's actually very stable when I'm going through my cycle and landing here. But it's when you get into the heel that you have some of that instability show up. But this really has a amazing bounciness to it, a nice toe off, really good grip. So this is just my initial impressions review. I'll do a full review once I get more miles in it, because I really did have a big difference from the first run to the second run just based on what I was doing. Going closer to 8-minute mile pace, it did feel a little bit unstable to me. It felt cushioned, but nothing phenomenal. Like, I wasn't blown away by it. But then when I did the fartlek run the next day, when I got up to those faster paces, it really felt amazing and great. So it really kind of came alive at those faster paces, and it seemed to be doing much better there. The strung upper is another thing that's pretty interesting. This is a textile upper made by robots. Kind of looks like Spider-Man had some fun on the shoe here. It's kind of like a bird's nest design, but the idea behind this is it's a textile innovation, according to Adidas, that transforms athlete data into a dynamic material. It's mapping different fiber properties thread by thread. So the idea there is they can make this upper thicker in places where they need it to be to provide more support, thinner in other areas. But I found this to just be a very comfortable upper. I don't think it's all that breathable. It's pretty cold out right now. I ran 29 degrees yesterday. I didn't really feel my feet getting cold. So in the warmer months, that might be a problem, that this doesn't breathe as well. But in the colder weather, this is actually working pretty well for me. And this was the first time where the little elf hat pull tab here was actually very useful in getting the shoe on. I used the part of the tongue that sticks up here and you're able to slide your foot in there nicely. So that actually worked well for that. The tongue is also very thin and stitched in. It has different eyelets than the Adidas Pro. This has, a lot of different things going on with the lacing. I find the lacing on this to be better and the strung upper to be very comfortable. So the verdict is still out on this one. I'll do another video with an update once I put some more miles in here. But so far I'm finding it to be very comfortable, propulsive at faster speeds, very cushioned, very leg saving. It's definitely going to do that for longer runs. I don't think I would take this for any race under a half marathon though. And for half marathon, I could still use a lighter shoe. I think I would really only use this for a marathon or for longer mile training, because you're getting a lot of benefit from that bounce and from the technology in this shoe, but also you're adding weight by adding all that to it. So I'd rather strip it down a little bit and have a more responsive shoe that's lower to the ground. So the verdict is still out on this one, but it is promising. But to me, the other thing is it's just ludicrously priced. I would never pay $300 for a running shoe. This one is now available for $175 on sale. I think it's a better racing shoe than this one is for sure. But we'll see how my relationship with this shoe develops over time as I put some more miles on it. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.